Hello, I'm Sky Matsuhashi, founder of SmartPokerStudy.com, the place for poker players who are always striving to be better today than they were yesterday. Poker people, if you missed my WSOP and Colossus report, don't worry, it's still available if you download and listen to episode 70, and I also discussed some valuable live MTT lessons that I learned. Hey, poker people, thanks for tuning in, thanks for that Patreon support, and thank you for spreading the word, because that's how we grow. It's Friday, so of course, let's get to some Q&A action. Oh, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button like a meow. I'm going to do things a little differently today, and instead of covering the normal 3 questions from listeners, I'm going to go through the Smart Poker Study Podcast Facebook group timeline. Wow, that's a really long title. Smart Poker Study Podcast Facebook group. And I'm going to go through the timeline and read some interesting questions and some answers from our valuable members. It'll be like a hodgepodge of different topics within the timeline, probably hit quite a few more than just the 3 questions like normal. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want more people to simply join the group. Come on, folks. I've got lots more listeners to the show than the number of members within the Facebook group, so come on in. The water's fine. And you can find the Facebook group at www.smartpokerstudy.com/discuss. And this link will take you directly to the group on Facebook, where you can join and start posting some questions of your own, maybe even ask me some direct questions, and give your own valuable input and answer some questions from other poker peeps just like you. And another thing, for all current and future Facebook group members, I'm looking for ways to nurture the group, to kind of create conversations, develop relationships, friendships, give tons of value, and basically just build a kick-ass community. I can definitely use your help with that. So when you have any poker question whatsoever, please post it there first before you go anywhere else, And after you post your question or thought or whatever it is, just scroll down the timeline and see if you can't add your own killer knowledge to somebody else's question, and hopefully we'll all become, better poker players and friends within this whole process, And of course, the reason I'm asking for this is because social media, it's a totally new thing to me, so I really can use all the help I can get, schnieriously. Alrighty, so I am on the Facebook group timeline right here, and the first thing I see is a question from Price Keen. He posted it yesterday, and his question is a very short question, but it goes like this. Hero has the 6-8 of clubs. The flop comes 5 of clubs, 7 of clubs, 3 of spades. So it looks like we have an open and a straight draw, straight flush draw, I should say. And he asks, can someone run this in Flopzilla? Run it against 2 overcards and against aces and kings. And actually, I was the first one to comment to it. I commented a couple hours after he had posted it. And I said, this is what I said. I found that the 8 of clubs, 6 of clubs has a 64% edge over that range. But the range I entered is pretty ugly, as I just stuck exactly 2 overs and kings are better. So like the range I had a lot of, cards that people might not play, like Queen 8 suited and King 8 suited and Jack 8 off, that kind of stuff. But, and then I went on to say, I attached a screenshot here. So, I put in my Flopzilla screenshot. If you'd like me to narrow the range, just let me know. Yeah, so I often do stuff like that. I asked, Price here if there's anything else I could do. He didn't make any changes. He responded later with that's exactly what we were wondering, and he was happy to see that we had a 64% edge over that range. So those are the kinds of questions. Oh, and then someone else within this thread here responded with a different kind of free calculator from Ace Poker Solutions. The next post is, hello and welcome, Joe Rafter and Dracos D'Artagnan. Glad to have you in the group. Yeah, so anytime somebody new joins the group, of course, I'm the one who, approves new members is the word, not authorizes. I approve all the new members. So every time I approve some new members, I go ahead and put this welcome post here to see if that sparks some conversation with anybody, We got a great coach here that I've interviewed before, way back in episode, might have been like episode 13 or something. Al Spath, he's part of the group here. Episode 14 it was. Yeah, so Al Spath is here and he posts regularly, he puts his videos for the different, whether it's an interview or playing or ghosting that he does, Let's see here. And I always post my different podcasts here. So here's my post about the WSOP trip I made. Al Spath placed another one right there. Oh, and this one guy named Mel GTO, he often shares, he's a fair poker coaching coach, and he shares his different streams and whatnot when he's on, so you can click on this and watch his stream right there, his Twitch stream. Here's a big, long thread from me. I'm in Vegas for the Colossus. Grabbed my pre-reg seat ticket so I can skip the lines tomorrow morning. 10 a.m. start. I'm good with it, but some players on my cash table tonight complained that there ain't no way they'd play in a 10 a.m. tourney. I'm a morning person, so starting early is better than ending at like 2 to 3 a.m. for the later flight. And so went on, that was just my first... When I first got to the WSOP for the Colossus, the night before the Colossus, made this post. And then as it went, there's 37 total comments here, a lot of good looks and stuff. And then I started to post how I was doing in the tournament. I pulled off my first 3-bit with ace queen off and he folded. Blinds up to 75, 150, and 25 ante in level 3. It's a fast structure. And other people are making comments and stuff. I made it to the first break, doubled up with kings versus ace jack off, sitting at 6K. Okay, that's good. When they were 150, 300 were the blinds. Let's see. He flopped a set. I rivered a straight. All right, that's when I doubled up right there. And, just went on, and eventually I had to let everybody know what my bust-out hand was. Just busted, 3-bet shoved in the small blind versus active button, who called almost all in with 6s. No ace or king, and I'm out. Well, what a bummer. It happens. Busted right there. All right, here's another post from Price. He says, to my life poker friends out there in poker land, when tracking sessions, do you keep track of dealer tokes, tips, or just track what you walk in with and walk out with? I've been just entering start and finish cash. And Price is, he started playing some online, but he's been a live player for a really long time. I think he might play 1-3 or maybe even 2-5 live. I'm not really sure what his stakes are, but something like that, no limit player. Michael Langdon Tappert says, I just do start and finish cash plus any add-ons and rebuys. Yep, and he says, I figure you aren't walking out of there with the cash that gets raked toked, so it shouldn't count in your winnings. True, I agree with that one. Ken Lowry says, start to finish. I don't see the advantage of tracking it separately. It is still gone from your bankroll. Totally agree with that. And then Al Spath says, if you do that, recording your tokes, you might as well include taxi, Uber, parking fees, gas, and oh yeah, that deodorant, all that stuff. John Blank says, I keep track of it because it's in my poker app, but I'm not really sure why I do it. At the end of the day, it's what I take away from the table that counts towards my hourly. I don't try to add back the tip to see what my true rate is. And I completely agree with that. Your true rate is what you walk out of. If you played for 4 hours and you're up $80, you're up $20 an hour. It doesn't matter if you gave away, let's say it was an extra $20 you gave away in tokes, That's $100 you made. Over the 4 hours is $25 per hour. No, you don't count that way. You made what you walked out with. I completely agree with that. Oh, this was pretty cool. Ryan Davies made this post. He says, great channel to follow, YouTube-Brian Johnson. Huge advocate for personal development. He reads and reviews lots of great books, some of which have already been mentioned by Sky. Check it out, guys. And I actually did that. I responded with, thanks for turning us on to this, Ryan. He's got lots of good videos there, and I just subscribed. And I did. I went to that YouTube page of Brian Johnson, and he's got some killer videos. The guy's really insightful, reads a lot of books, and he just kind of shares his knowledge, the knowledge that he's gaining from the books that he's reading and the stuff that he's doing, puts him in video form, and it's great stuff. Some motivational, inspirational stuff. Oh, and this kind of hurts. Al Spath posted something. He says, congrats to our own Kerry Conga, who played the Colossus today and moneyed $922 and won a t-shirt. Way to go, Two Isles. Oh, when I first saw that post, I thought, yeah, Kerry did it. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to cash. But then, no, there I go, busting out before the cash. But congratulations, Kerry. You killed it right there with making the cash. I don't know how deep you got, but congratulations. Wish I could have been there with ya. All right, here's an interesting one from Patrick Winterbottom. Hi all, would love your thoughts on when ICM considerations should come into play in MTTs. I was playing a big 750 on Stars a couple days ago, 5,900 players, 953 paid, and we were well into the money with only 129 left. And heck yeah, 129, you're in 129th place. I'm sorry. Not 129th place. There were 129 left, 953 paid. Yeah, you made it super deep right there. That's awesome, man. The Under the Gun +2 shoved his 16.5 big blind stack, and I called off my 14 big blind stack with pocket tens from the button. Is there any case for folding here? I'd been stealing and re-stealing in good spots, and I'm now wondering whether I should have folded and focused on spots where I could get my chips in first. And so Michael Langdon Tappert, he chimed in. He said, I think you got to shove, unless maybe there's a crazy pay jump in 1 or 2 knockouts. That's understandable. Let's see here. Eric Hutchison says, seems fine. My charts say you can call 5s or better. Ace-9 suited, Ace-10 off, King-Queen suited, and you can call all those profitably, knowing nothing about this player. You would need a solid read that this player has a super nitty open shoving range in order to even consider a fold here, in my opinion. Okay, and then I chimed in with, I get into the push-fold game at 12 BBs or less. At 14 BBs, you've still got lots of play left, and you don't need to make this call. I agree with Eric that it is a positive EV call, but not necessary. If this guy has been very aggro and is showing down crap, then make the call. But if there's a lot of weak spots at the table and your steals are working, then it's okay to make folds like this. Your call here is just hoping your hand is best and holds up. You have no fold equity when calling all in, and that's one of the things I look for when I'm in push-fold mode. I prefer being the shover with fold equity when I'm short stacked, as that's an additional way to win. When I'm calling all in, I look for a very premium hand versus unknowns, or good hands versus donks. And if this guy is a donk, then pocket tens is definitely good enough to call the shove. Alright, so that was mine right there. And then Adam Goodrich responds with, I call there. My calling range is 10s or better, ace-queen off, or better, against 15 BB stacks. If there was a specific nitty info on the player, so folding bells were ringing loud, maybe I'd fold. It's not a last longer contest, in my humble opinion. And I totally understand that, Adam Goodrich. I don't know that, of course, I think shoving right there, or calling his shove, actually, you're not really shoving, you're calling his shove. That is a positive EV play. I just think that, you can find some better spots and look to get your hands in with good cards, but also with some fold equity to pick up the pot right there. Because you are just hoping your pocket tens hold up. Okay, and the last one for today, John Blank puts in a post. He says, anyone have first-hand experience with poker room jackpots? What advice do you have for utilizing the money the best? Keep it as part of my bankroll and look to move up, or take it out of the poker circulation? I want a chunk from a high hand promo and a royal flush, and I'm looking for advice, even some tax advice. Cool, and he showed a picture right here, and yeah, he had Jack 10 suited with the Ace King Queen on the turn. Wow, ace on the turn, king queen on the flop. Wow, flop and open ender, hit that royal flush on the turn. Good for you, John. Alrighty, so the very first comment was from Adam. It goes in your roll, your bankroll, at least most of it. If bankroll management is keeping you from moving up, now you can move up. If you're not profitable moving up, stay where you are, or the fact that your bankroll management affords you some educational buy-ins, take some shots under your bankroll management rules. In my humble opinion, bankroll management dictates stakes. Congrats, though, anyway. And then I said, congrats on the additional score. Set some aside for taxes, just an estimate, maybe 30%. Add some to your bankroll and get your lady friend something nice. Treat yourself a little with this bonus moolah. Stick with your bankroll restrictions, whatever that is for you. That was my, And then Brandy Duffy replied to mine. She says, haha, he definitely doesn't need to get me anything nice. So I guess Brandy is John's girlfriend, unless she's totally joking there. Oh, and then Price chimed in, when I got paid with quads last year, I bought some shit for my Jeep, but it wasn't a bad beat. It was just a quad promotion that ran noon to 6 on weekdays. And as far as taxes goes, when you sign for a promotion, you will owe the state and the Fed. Good call on that, Price. So just like I said, yeah. As far as taxes, when you sign a promotion, yes, you owe the state and the federal. Absolutely. All righty. So that is the Facebook group. So you can get kind of a taste there. I read a lot of different questions, some hand histories and some non-hand histories, but you can get a taste there of what, what all the different members, the kinds of questions that they the kinds of questions that they ask within the Facebook group and the kinds of responses that you can expect to get. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. If you're not already there, and why wouldn't you be, head over to the show notes page for everything I discussed today at smartpokerstudy.com/pod69. Hit me with any feedback through the show notes, or you can send an email to sky@smartpokerstudy.com, tweet me at smartpokerstudy, or like I just mentioned, or we just talked about a lot, post it in the Facebook group at smartpokerstudy.com/discuss. And a big thank you to James D. and Scott M. for some awesome support. James D. purchased PokerTrack 4 through my affiliate, and I'm sure that will be the best poker software investment he's ever made. And Scott M. purchased my Smart HUD, and I know he'll be exploiting his opponents with it in no time flat. Thanks again, gents. And I just got some killer information. Wendy Pepper just supported me on Patreon. This perfect poker person, this siren of the straights, this foxy flush flopper, this river queen supported me on Patreon, and I love her for that. Thank you so much, Wendy. And also, of course, thank you very much, James D. and Scott M. for that wonderful support. Alrighty, poker people, be sure to come back for Tuesday's podcast, where I will continue the Hand Reading Lab series, and I'll discuss thinking about your own pre-flop ranges and creating them based on different scenarios, like your responses to 3-bets, or what you'd raise with versus 3 limpers, or what you'd squeeze with in the big blind versus an under-the-gun open and a button call. And as always, share the show with other poker people to help it grow, and preferably someone who will get value from it just like you do. Send them to the show notes page to get them started on all that this podcast has to offer. And don't forget to visit patreon.com/smartpokerstudy to support the show and collect some nice monthly rewards. Until next time, study smart, play much, and make your next session the best one yet.